Hey guys, I'm Christian Phillips. I'm the principal broker and owner of Inlet Realty and Property Management out of Virginia Beach, Virginia, and I am a real estate contributor here on Dividends and Income. Last week in our video, I showed you what I would do with $25,000 in today's real estate market. We were able to get a 16.4% projected cash on cash return. This week, I'm going to show you what we can do with a budget of twice that. I took a look at what we could do with $50,000, and I was able to get us an 18% return without even using our entire budget. I'm going to show you exactly how we did it right on the other side of this. All right, so how did we do it? How did we get 18% return with an investment budget of $50,000? Last time we ran numbers for a property, it was under the assumption that you were going to buy something in your local market and be able to manage it yourself. It became clear through talking to a bunch of you guys who watched the video that your local markets do not present opportunities like the ones I'm finding here in Southeast Virginia. So I'm going to run today's numbers both ways, showing you what you can do with and without a property manager. I think you're going to see that we get exceptional returns, even having to hire a property manager to do all the legwork for you. So with $50,000 to work with, we have options that we did not have available before. With a down payment of this size, we can venture into the world of multifamily housing. Multifamily housing has a lot of upsides and a couple of downsides that are not present in investing in a single family home. The first thing that you need to consider is that when you are taking a mortgage on a multifamily home, 2 to 4 units, the required down payment is going to be 25% instead of 20% like we talked about last month. It is, however, worth it to put that extra amount of money down due to the properties that you are going to have available with that down payment. They cash flow much better in the multifamily world. So with $50,000 to work with and knowing that our closing costs are going to be around $5,000, or 3% of the sales price, we're going to try and stay within a purchase price of $175,000 or less to end up with a total of $50,000 out of pocket. So for the purpose of this article, I was actually able to identify a duplex in Portsmouth, Virginia. I love Portsmouth. The rental market there is very strong. We have a lot of military nearby Portsmouth, and we have no problem keeping our rentals occupied out there. A lot of properties in Portsmouth do conform to the 1% rule. It is a very good place to put your money. We talked about the 1% rule briefly last week. That's just a rule of thumb that says you want your monthly rent to be about 1% of your purchase price. So a $100,000 property should bring in about $1,000 a month in rent as a starting point, and then you're going to look at every property individually from there. So this property I was able to find in Portsmouth is a 2-bedroom, 1 bath on one side and a 1-bedroom, 1 bath on the other side. It was originally a single family home that somebody has converted into a duplex so that you actually have 2 separate units that you rent out individually. I like multifamily housing like this because while we manage vacancy very, very well here at Inlet Realty, some vacancy is inevitable. Having 2 units, the odds of them being vacant at the same time is very low. So your monthly cash flow will be more consistent having 2 units instead of 1. So the duplex I found here in Portsmouth actually has an asking price of $102,900, and it is marketed by James and Lee Realty. So with a 25% down payment on this property, if you take a look at this chart right here, we've got a purchase price of $102,900. That's going to make your down payment $25,725. We've got $5,000 in closing costs on that, which puts your total out of pocket at $30,725. If we allow another $4,275 for deferred maintenance and repairs, that should leave plenty of money to spruce up the property in any way that it might be needed at the time. I always find that it's a good Practice as soon as you purchase a property to meet with your tenants or have your property manager meet with your tenants and find out if there are any issues that had gone unaddressed from the previous owner, and make sure that you take care of those issues right away. It's very important that your tenants know that you care about their happiness. They will communicate better with you, and they will take better care of your property if they like you and they know that you care about them. If you're going to raise rents on existing tenants when you purchase a property, it is very important that you make some sort of improvement to the property so that they know they're getting something in exchange for the higher rent, and it's not just you trying to raise the rent to make more money on the property. So with 25% down and $5,000 in closing costs, you are looking at $30,725 out of pocket to purchase this property. So what's the deal? Let's take a look at the numbers. Check out this chart right here. With a loan amount of $77,175, that's what's left after you put your 25% down. The interest rate on a mortgage like this is still at about 4.5%. Your principal and interest portion of your investment will be $391. But remember, your mortgage payment is made up of four things. PITI, we call it: principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. So the taxes on this property are extremely affordable. They're only $71 a month. The insurance on a property like this is going to be about $100 or $120 a month. We're going to budget on the safe side at $120 a month. From there, there's no property owners association fee or condo association fee that we have to worry about. So your total payment is going to be $582 a month. So here's where the analysis on multifamily housing is a little bit different than we would see on a single family home. If you take a look at this chart here, you can see how the cash flows. The rent amount for unit A is $650. The rent amount for unit B is $650. Their one unit is a 1-bedroom, the other unit is a 2-bedroom, but they're renting for the same amount. And both of these rents do appear to be under market value. But one of the reasons I selected this property is I know for a fact what the cash coming in is, and I don't have to speculate. The speculation is going to occur on whether or not we can raise those. And I think there's probably $100 a month that can be raised on those rents in exchange for a little bit of improvement to the property. So when you add up the two rents, $650 plus $650 gives you $1,300 a month. In this initial set of numbers here, we're assuming that you're not managing it yourself. Your total monthly payment is going to be $582. The maintenance on the property, we talked about this last week. It is crucial that you don't forget about maintenance. Even if you're buying a completely remodeled property, the average property that we manage here at Inlet goes through about $1,000 worth of maintenance a year. If you have larger maintenance items looming, then you need to budget even more than that. But about $85 a month per unit seems to be the typical amount that people are spending on repairs. So that's what we're going to budget in here. We have 2 units, so that totals $170 a month that we're going to budget for repairs on this property. In this equation, we're going to have $130 in management fees. And one important thing to look at on multifamily housing, because they're not all the same, is the metering of your utilities. You have to take a look when you're running the numbers on a property to look if it's a 2-family house, do you have 2 separate electric meters? Do you have 2 separate water meters or 2 separate gas meters? If they are not separately metered, historically landlords have ended up on the hook for those utilities, and they have to put them in with the rent. Due to technology and some great management tricks that we have, we can avoid that even if you have 1 meter. We just need to know what's there and be able to plan a strategy appropriately. So in this case, there is no water bill or power bill to pay, so that's going to be a 0, putting your monthly cash flow from this property at $418. That's an annual cash flow of $5,016. And even with management baked in the cake on your $35,000 investment, that's a return of 14.3% cash on cash. That return is over 18% if you don't have to put those management fees in there. I don't know where else you're going to get a return like that. as we talked about last week, this is only one way that your investment is growing here. When you invest in real estate, your money grows in 3 directions at the same time. Your mortgage, which starts out at 75% of the value of the property, gets paid down over time. The value of the property itself goes up over time. So your initial down payment never goes anywhere. You're just parking it there. And that grows in equity in both directions. Your annuity payment that's coming in on these, the $1,300 a month in rent, is only going to go up over time as well. So that 14.3% cash on cash is only going to get better over time with inflation as rents go up. It is important to note that all properties do not make good rentals. It's critical that every property you look at be underwritten carefully. I mentioned I like to look at 3 parts first thing: the roof, the windows, and the HVAC. I call them the trifecta. They are 3 large repairs that will gain you no rent by having to do them, but could easily set you back $8,000 or $10,000 on each one. So therefore, it is important to take a look at these systems and make sure that they do not all need to be replaced in the next couple of years. That could destroy your budget and turn something that looks like a promising investment into a terrible money pit. On this particular property, the property has a nice architectural shingle roof. It's in the middle of its useful life. The windows are not newer windows, but they're in decent shape. And each unit has its own heat pump for heating and air conditioning that are in the middle of their useful lives. These are not ideal, but they're not deal-breaking conditions either. With multifamily properties, there are several variables that you need to consider that are not present in single-family homes. The utilities was the first one. The second one would be lawn care. If you have one yard that is being shared by 2 people, who cuts it? Is it one unit? Is the other unit? Those things vary depending on whether it's an over and under duplex, whether it's a main house and apartment, or whether it's an apartment building. So we have solutions to all of those problems. It's just a matter of making sure that you don't overlook them when you're going to have a lawn bill to pay every month and didn't account for that. That's going to be a problem. The driveway is a consideration in multifamily property. How many driveways are on the property? Sometimes you have single family homes like this one that we looked at that were converted to a duplex. So you have to ask, is there enough parking for everybody? Can you say the left side of the driveways for one unit, the right side of the driveways for the other unit? Maybe one unit gets the driveway, another unit parks on the street, and the unit that gets the driveway pays more. All of these things are very important to address so that you don't have to figure out a solution once you've leased it and your tenants are already unhappy. Investing in real estate remotely can make people very nervous, but finding a good property manager that you know and you trust can take a lot of that stress off of your plate and give you access to these deals that do not exist in your town. So that's that. I don't see a better way to build long-term wealth and income than investing in real estate. Thank you so much for listening. If you have any questions, go ahead and write them below in the comments. I'm going to try to reply to all of them. If you liked this video, please hit the like button and please subscribe to the channel so that you can get future videos automatically from us. Thank you so much for listening. I'll see you next time when we look at what you can do with $100,000 in this real estate market. And that's going to open up a whole new realm of possibilities for us with that size investment. I'll see you next time.